Here I am, bigSHow the God. It's actually bigSHow the awesome God, but you know what I mean. Thought today I'd share something quite raw, actually, something that I continue to work on, and I think when I talk about this, it'll show that I'm getting better at it. But what does getting better mean if you still do it? So self-awareness is something that I'm practicing and trying to better myself with. And I had a couple of cases this week that I think that goes with the self-awareness. What I might do, let's pull up this. Let's go like this. So we go self-awareness. And so I'm in a conversation. I got two cases that I'll use that have spurred on. And one was with my daughter. So we'll just start with that conversation with daughter. And to give some background, I hadn't spoken to, this was digital too, hadn't spoken to her for a few months. And we'll just say online. So she lives overseas, so it's always online. Contact on Facebook via comments, via chat. And so that's been the background to me and my daughter. Now, I already have an issue with that. And my issue with that is I don't think that's enough contact or enough touch points, even though there's that much. I could scroll through the Facebook stuff and I'll say, and I'll add this in, and this is just my side. I'm the one who shares who shares and starts conversation. Which, it is what it is, but that's just where I'm at. And so I shared a piece, some simple stuff, and then this particular time she'd booked tickets to come to New Zealand, which was good. She's coming, but I'd already kind of, I don't know, and there's my self-awareness part. as I'm already irked, is that, well, when were you going to let me know? When were you going to contact me? In my head, I'm not saying these things, but that's what I'm thinking. And so already, I'm getting this kind of, and then I get, what gets worse for me is I get in between it, I'm looking forward to seeing new stuff comes up in it. And see how I'm already wired. I've already wired myself in thinking that I don't think that's genuine. It's, and I think that's me. And that's why I'm sharing this kind of self-awareness part. I think it's me, because I'm the one who is annoyed by this, and I'm not everybody else. So I've got to take that into consideration. The depths and the levels that I go to. There's levels to everything, I think. So anyway, through this, I'm already kind of wired, what I would call a bit, I've got negative thoughts going. Let's call it what it is. I'm having, let's use negative thoughts. Based on the process. So I don't like the process. I guess because I'm not out there, to be fair, I'm not saying all these things. I'm not saying I'm irked by this to the person, to the daughter. And my reasons for that, because I have, is because I have shared these things in the past, and here we are. So, at some point they've got to want to do it. So then I have to leave it. Just leave it and just take what's coming, right? And that's the self-awareness part. So anyway, it still doesn't change. It still doesn't change the emotions and the feelings I'm having of negative thoughts. Yes, so it's this self spiral I'm on. So here I am. This should be a good thing, right? And here I have managed to make it a problem. In a sense, I'm having fucking negative thoughts. My daughter's saying she's coming over. You see the hypocrisy. Oh, you see the, well, I have to see how that, I need to be self-aware of that. In my opinion, this is what self-awareness is. Why am I not overwhelmed with joy or overwhelmed with excitement? Why? So let's write that down. Why am I not excited? Have excited with positive thoughts. Right? So that's the big part. That's the self-awareness, but that's the bit that gets to the guts. Is why are you not excited? Why why when my mum and dad say they're coming up, I'm not excited? Why is that? Yet sometimes I am. So what's the difference? It's the process. Is it because I'm not in control? Because I don't have control? Because I didn't, because I need, why do I need to know every fucking thing? Do I have to be the attention? Do I have to have been asked and had permission and be consulted? Then I'm excited. Do I have to have buy-in? So you see, these are the self-awareness things that I think I have to work through. I have to work on the most. And these are my issues, my things. And it's going to take more practice. I should be excited, but I'm not. So that's the part. That's the self-awareness that's missing. But to be fair, it sounds tough, but I'm like this with everything. So, maybe excited with positive thoughts is not the part. We're going to see each other, and it's going to be great. I'm going to give the time. But if I'm having negative thoughts, that's the stuff that matters in my head. Because that does it. Well, it's an opportunity to look through those things and go, so what will it take? What does that person think? Because I'm already ready. I'm already ready with sarcasm. I'm already ready with some bit in the back of my mind ready to throw out there. Some comment that's not productive or highly judgmental, a lot more judgmental, a lot more defensive. Here we go. So I'm going to be more defensive, whether that person's done anything or not. Defensive. Not listen. Look, judgmental. Here we go. More judgmental. I'm already going to be fucking judgmental. Let's be honest. I need more judgmental. And that's my starting point. You see the problem there? That's where I'm starting. Why? Why are you starting there? Defensive, not listening, more judgmental. Awesome. What a great fucking starting point. There's a conversation. There's an event happening. There's that. And I'm already defensive, not listening, and I'm more judgmental. And wrapping it up in a fucking wrapping it up and ready to just throw it out there. And that's so true. And that's something, when I'm hearing myself here, it's something I do all the time. It's how I'm wired. It's almost like this yin and yang. And that's why this thing makes light of that. That I do that there. And this is where you got to take. So this gets me. So from that, we start this road. So I have to dwell on, I have to listen to that. Listen to myself. Practice. The reality is, I'm having these negative thoughts. I'm being defensive, not listening, more judgmental, whether I like it or not. It's like the tide. I'm going to have them from the information I hear. It's up to me how I deal with that and how I react. And these are the tools. These are the tools I have. So, ownership. Own that I've got it. This is what that part is. Here's the ownership. Here's the scenario. And here's me looking at me. Me looking at me. It's not as easy, but it is what it is. And what's my responsibility for this? So I'm the issue. We talk about relationships, we talk about building relationships, well, I'm in my own way, in my opinion, with this framework of being defensive, not listening, more judgmental. As a starting point, I used to justify it with skepticism and being, what's the real truth? What's actually going on? Oh, you're failing. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. All that shit. I have to fucking take responsibility that I bring that to the table. Whether it's there or not. If it's there, that's separate. But bringing it with you, that's you. You're the one bringing that into the environment. You want to bring that into the environment? Those are things I'm bringing into the environment. Defensive, not listening, more judgmental. And that's just from, and within there, if the process isn't followed, or I do notice on this too, was any comment that was made, it could have just been a joke. I take it, because I'm already starting defensive, not listening, more judgmental. I'm already ready. I'm armored up. I'm ready to strike back. And I compliment myself that I'm ready to strike back, because this is my starting pose. I'm ready to strike back, but I compliment myself that I didn't strike back. No, I didn't push out there. Yeah, but you're fucking armored up. You got your gun all out. You're ready to fucking shoot your thing there as a starting position. Come on. There's a problem there. I'm already starting at that position. And funny I should say that, is that I've had this with others. Interesting. So I have been working on this without knowing about it. But not so much in the... So here's what I'm doing now, is that I'm getting to this, even though I'm writing this down, what I was doing was I was getting to this point in real time of backing off, knowing what to throw, whereas before I would have just kept pushing my opinion and what I think was going on from what you said in real time, and thought that was benefiting you. I don't disagree that that's not okay. It's not. The point I'm trying to say here is not when you're already starting at defensive, not listening, more judgmental. And when I say not listening, I think I'm listening to what you're saying. It's the outcome. It's the defensive nature. It's the defensive position you're taking, the more judgmental position you're taking, to come up with your feedback, or your, whether they want it or not, to come back with, my answer. Now, what triggered some of these things was because of comments that person makes about me, which they weren't trying to make. I'm already in a defensive, more judgmental role about that person, so I take the comments, that the feedback, and that I already armor up and want to and then I want to get into something that you've got. You see? And that's what I'm talking about. That's the part I'm talking about. That's where I'm already at. And so I keep going, right? It doesn't stop. So my negative thoughts, so let's say we're there. And then I get, where's the communication? Why have we not said where, what, how, when, in more detail? So we don't get to grow the build up. I sit here and I think, oh, well, do you want to go do X, Y, Z? But that doesn't happen as easily when you're in this defensive, more judgmental fucking role, right? Not like I'm thinking, oh, you're coming over your days. Oh, well, take your days. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Oh, yeah, I'll go do that. Oh, do you want to do that? Not bringing that energy, am I? What would energy bring? And then, oh, hasn't rung me up, hasn't told me they're going to go do it. Oh, well. Oh, well. Right. Supposedly you want that. That's what apparently this person's important to you. Correct? Oh, but now I can't bring that energy now because they didn't do something. She didn't do something. Or am I overvaluing it? I don't think so. I think I'm undervaluing it. And then it's quite nice because I can sit here and blame the other person. It's a lot easier. My whole system's a lot easier this way. Less energy spent. Expectations are nice and low, so I won't be disappointed. Yet I'll be disappointed anyway. Because we're going to coulda, woulda, shoulda. Why didn't we do that? Because you didn't do something. Not because I didn't do something. Or what did you want to do? You see? And this is hard to hear. For me. Hard for me to listen to this. But important. Because now I can build from here. Now when I start taking ownership, I start taking responsibility and accountability in its truest sense. And it has to be from a value perspective, from an mental emotional perspective of what I value. And as hard as it's going to be, is to practice reframing that. And to know that at the end of the day, I have to start looking at the words that they said and not decide what the words are, what the meanings were. So I didn't share that she was really excited to be coming. That's what she told me. I ignored that. You notice that? No, ignored that. Caught up in the, what are you doing? You're coming out. We haven't spoken. We haven't spoken for ages. Why haven't we spoken for ages? I'm caught up in that. So, excited to come. Here's the dates. Here's my flights. I go, so what's the itinerary? What are you going to be doing? Because shares what she's going to be doing. Going to do that, wants to do that, wants to do that. Didn't have me in a lot of that, which is fine. Reality is, she's going to be in the car. She's going to be here. Where she's staying and all that sort of stuff. Whether it's not easy, whether I'm supposed to suggest those things. Maybe that's where I'm lacking asking questions, or lacking confirmation. What I got to realise too is that, because it can be hard to ask someone, can I stay at your place? I've got a kind of a weird environment here because, you know, my parents live downstairs, so she can just talk to them, and if they say, yeah, stay, then it's done. So we do have this weird dynamic going on, which doesn't help, I guess. But back to the point, is if I've got an issue with it, then I should say it. But in my defense again, it sounds negative. But in fact, it's just clarifying. Yeah, answers questions, doesn't it? So yes. So it's going to be nice. So now I've turned it. And we'll use this word. Use the opportunity. Here's the opportunity. Because what's weird is that when me and my daughter are together, man, we have fun. We laugh and joke about every goddamn thing all day. All we do is laugh. So that's kind of the basic kind of premise of the whole thing. What we actually do, don't know. It's kind of marginal. Doesn't matter. You know, we don't. It's not like. That's the bit. That's all. That's kind of all I want to do. Which I guess, when you say it out loud, it can be quite boring. But just sitting here telling stories is kind of it. I hate to say it, but that's all I think of. But other people might want to go up to something to go see and stuff. It's really just that people sitting around together talking rubbish amongst other things. See, so it feels like that's the guts of it. I had the other conversation with a team member actually. Wasn't as good as this, but it's in that same mold of me being defensive, not listen, and more general. But it was more to the feedback I got from that person and how I became defensive. I wouldn't say I was already defensive, but I became defensive really fast. Like, the conversation started and I didn't like what I was hearing, or I thought it was misunderstood. And I kind of got judgmental on it. I guess I lumbered these two things together as examples of the defensive, the more judgmental, and more defensive I got. But a lot of that was in my own head, and I kept most of that to myself. So my reactions are fine. I'm just conscious of what's actually happening, and how I'm dealing with the hits. So those hits impact creativity and other areas. So it's how I deal with this stuff. And even though it knocks me around for a few hours, and even, here it is lingering, and it will linger longer, because these are big bits that I've got to work through, right? And in my defense, I am working on these things all the time. It's just, the reality is, I've got to keep practicing it and keep reaffirming it, especially that ownership, responsibility, accountability, the defensive, not listening, more judgmental. Those sorts of things I've got to kind of see in real time. The self-awareness is ever happening. And just because I don't say it, I look at it. My energy's different. So that is what other people see, or know, feel. They feel it too. It's because you didn't say. It's because they feel, yeah, I'm excited. It's not what you said is not what. It's not what I think you mean. Now, I do that to other people. So, if I'm in this state of being, you gave me some feedback and it fucking irked me. If I'm not showing you that, then am I not being authentic because I've withheld it or said the opposite? Oh no, I see, I'll take, okay. When I'm going, fuck off, hold on. So, I guess, this is a good challenge. Good challenge of just this little session of writing this down. Is the process I've got to go through to getting it out there, getting it off my head. And so I do this regularly. So yeah, that was a good one. I feel good. I feel better about that.